Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitches available for the 2013 Mazda 3 hatchback. Now both our hitches are going to be Class 1 offerings, which is about all the weight we're going to be able to carry with our Mazda 3 anyway. First we've got our Draw-Tite. This is part number 24843. It's going to have the 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch receiver tube opening, just like our Curt, which we have here. This is part number C11383. Now both of our hitches are going to offer an 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch receiver tube opening. They're Class 1 hitches, so there's going to be several items available that you're going to be able to utilize with your hitch. Of course, towing, light duty needs there are going to work out really well, but also your bike racks and your cargo carriers. As long as you stay with like a 2 bike rack or you stay with a smaller cargo carrier, you shouldn't exceed the weight capacities of our hitch. Aesthetically, the main difference in our hitches are going to be the way the end of the receiver tube looks. You'll see with the Draw-Tite, it's just pretty much flush cut off there at the end. The Curt has a little bit of a finishing collar that goes around, gives it a little bit more of a flush look. So this is definitely going to be one that's more visible because it is larger, but it also offers, I think, a little bit cleaner look than what we've got on our Draw-Tite. Now both hitches are going to share the same style safety chain connections point here. It's just going to be a rounded steel stock that's been welded to the bottom. Keep in mind though, the Draw-Tites are slightly heavier than what you get on the Curt. Now the Draw-Tite is going to have 2 connection points. One is going to be a bolt that we fish wire in the frame rail. The other one's going to connect onto an existing hook that's already underneath the vehicle. That'll be the one on the side. Now when we get to the Curt, the installation process is going to be slightly more difficult. Not only are we going to have to fish wire in that forward attachment point just like on the Draw-Tite, but on each side we've got 2 additional bolts that we have to fish wire into location. Now while it's not the biggest challenge in the world, it is going to take more time and be a slightly more drawn out installation. Also, when this carriage bolt is down through, as you can see, there's going to be limited space between the cross tube and that to get it torqued down properly, whereas our Draw-Tite, they thought it out a little bit better and they bent the plate out the other way, giving us more access to the underside to get to that nut. Now both of our hitches are going to offer the exact same weight ratings. We have a 200-pound tongue weight rating. That's the maximum downward force we can put here at the receiver tube opening. We've got a 2,000-pound gross trailer weight rating. That would be the total weight of our trailer and anything that we were to load up on it. Of course, you will need to check the owner's manual on the Mazda to see what it's rated for and use whichever of those numbers are the lowest. One thing to keep in mind, even though both of our hitches are rated exactly the same weight capacity-wise, Curt does recommend the use of a stabilization strap anytime we're hauling a non-wheeled load. That's going to be your cargo carrier and your bike rack, basically anything other than a trailer. Now another key component to think about with hitches on the back of the Mazda is going to be the differences in where our pinhole is and the clearances that we're going to have. So the hitch pinhole on the Curt from the outermost edge of the bumper is going to be about 3½ inches recessed underneath. When we look at the Draw-Tite, we'll be adding about 1½ inch to that. It's going to be at about 5 inches. So that's essentially going to mean that on your Draw-Tite, your cargo carrier or your bike rack will be 1½ inch closer to the rear of the vehicle than with the Curt. That'll help Curt out with the recreational purposes certainly, and allowing us to get those items further away from our vehicle. Now ground clearances from the bottom of our hitch to the ground are going to be about identical on both hitches, so not really a big differentiating factor there. Now let's do a quick summary on everything that we've just kind of talked about. Basically, when it comes to the appearance of the hitch on the rear of the vehicle, I like the Curt because it does have that more finished look with the collar around the end. However, the Draw-Tite is going to give you the least noticeable hitch, so that'll kind of help you decide there. Now recreationally, with the Curt being 1½ inch closer to the rear of the vehicle, it's definitely going to help us gain more room between the rear of our car and our accessories. However, keep in mind, the Curt does require the use of a stabilization strap, so if you don't want to deal with that, the Draw-Tite is still a very good option. Now when it comes to ease of installation on our hitches, the Draw-Tite is definitely going to be the victor there. It requires just 2 bolts to be fish wired in rather than 6 with the Curt, and the hardware will be more accessible. And that's going to complete our look at the best hitches available for the Mazda 3 hatchback. We hope you find this information helpful in deciding which hitch is right for you.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.